Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? Is there anyone at all? How is it going, David? Will you be a fact warrior today? And lo, Rev Deuce went amongst the people, and he told them the good news, the fact-based news, the news that provided context for a world turned upside down. A world full of disinformation. A world where the global authoritarians and oligarchs controlled the means of communication and tuned the algorithms to cause division, hate, and despair. But Rev Deuce knew that there was a better way, that there was a better path that would lead the people out of the darkness and in to the light of joy. And so Rev Deuce changed the world by spreading fact-based news to people who did not understand that they were receiving information from a stream that was purpose-built to manipulate them. And in so doing, Rev Deuce changed the world and brought light into a place of darkness. Everybody, yes, and welcome on into the program today. How are you all doing? Welcome, welcome. It is so lovely to be here with you. I'm so grateful to have you here in my space because it is our space. It is a space for you and I to enjoy and to understand what is happening in our world. I am so grateful for all of you. Yes, and. And so I ask you, Arturo Dominguez, yo, dude, you are a cool dude. Welcome into the space, Arturo. Arturo Dominguez is someone who is spreading lots of fact-based information at all times, and I'm so grateful to have him here. I've been experiencing a few technical difficulties, Arturo, but I would love for you to call into the program and talk to me about your experience with media, your media diet, how you came to be the person that you are, who spreads fact-based information. We here in the Mega Church of Joy worship facts. We are fact warriors in the face of people like Steve Bannon who want to flood all of our zones with shit at all times. So Arturo, it is very wonderful to have you here. If everyone is on Substack, they should go follow Arturo. I'd love to hear from you in the chat, Arturo, or to have you call into the program. Your personal information will not be shared. So in the face of this information war that we are dealing with at all times, what are we all doing to battle it? Are we being fact warriors? Every single time we are online, are we sharing fact-based information that aligns with small d democratic values? What are you doing today to make the world a better place? Our information ecosystem is what brought us fascism in this country. And so how are you changing the world by being a fact warrior? Fact warrior! Fact warrior! David, have we overcome the technical difficulties? I would love to know. Everyone, I tried to go too far past my britches this morning, and I tried to stream to too many places, and it ended up making the stream dog shit. So I'm so grateful for all of you to be here today, and we started the program doing our usual stuff. We started the program doing our prayer, the daily dose. Self, today I endeavor to be a better teammate than yesterday. I vow to keep it simple, to listen better, to commit harder, and to give more expertly. It is my joyous burden to make those around me appear as rock stars and support the ideas of others. I will move past obstructions, drop insecurities, and put my trust in myself and others. I will attempt to emotionally connect with whomever I meet. Yes, and welcome in Joan, welcome in Madeline. You are in a space of love, joy, support, and a place where we worship facts. Rev Deuce wants you to call into the program and talk to him about your media diet. Rev Deuce wants to talk to you about your understanding of our information ecosystem. And if you realize, as Deuce does, that every single time that we are online, we need to be spreading fact-based information in the face of those who spread shit, who flood the zone with shit in order to manipulate us. Yes, and. So let's go through the news with Deuce. Deuce is so grateful to have you here, and we are ready to go. So Rev Deuce normally puts together a list of the things that Rev Deuce has been looking at, but today he is going to be going through the things that he reposted from his timeline on Blue Sky. Just a reminder that Rev Deuce made this silly song about the two dolls thing. Hey kids, I hear Santa. Come downstairs. He's probably brought us lots and lots of gifts. What's under the tree? What's that? Oh, it's just a wad of old chewed gum. But Mom and Dad, you said Santa came. Well, son, Santa did come, but you see, President Trump said we have to be okay with accepting less this year because we're going to experience some temporary pain for the joy of long-term sustained economic prosperity. And we should believe him because Donald Trump has always told the truth. Now go outside and turn that gum into a doll. Only 2 dolls this Christmas. There used to be 30 or more. Yeah, 2 dolls this Christmas, made out of gum that we chiseled off the floor. Yes, I'm so very happy to be in Trump's America, where if Joe Biden said I had to suffer, I would lose my shit and cry. Hey Dad, I'm gonna go outside and play with the doll that I just made out of gum. I learned ingenuity and I learned how to pull myself up by my bootstraps. I love MAGA America, Daddy. Yay! So we had fun with that one. Now let's go look at this from ProPublica. Now we are always recommending ProPublica as an amazing source of news. ProPublica has been doing some of the best journalism in America from their platform as a nonprofit source of fact-based information. I had the pleasure of sitting down at a table last year with Justin. I believe his last name is Elliott, but one of the lead reporters, the lead reporter for all of their work on Clarence Thomas. And what's so fascinating about that work that they did is that, they literally just went through photos of Clarence Thomas until they started to look at his shirts, and they found that he was wearing shirts from these retreats, and that is how they began to make the links between Harlan Crow and the Supreme Court and Clarence Thomas, and that is just incredible investigative reporting. So let's look at what ProPublica is talking to us about today. They're updating a story about this Doge aide who was told by ethics attorneys that he held stock in companies that agency employees are barred from owning, and he was advised not to participate in any actions that could benefit him personally. Days later, he helped fire 90% of the CFPB staff anyway. Are there consequences for this? Will there be any consequences on par with the consequences we are all suffering in the face of this coup? That is such a disgusting graphic that I can only show it for a very brief period of time. Now, Oliver Willis is reporting on Ann Telnay's. Just a reminder to everyone that the Media and Democracy Project will be holding an event with Ann Telnay's on March 29th, I do believe. Let's find out right now. We can't figure out how to get our thing to work. No, not donate, although we would be so appreciative. May 29th, a conversation with Ann Telnay's, the power of editorial cartoonists for democracy. She just won a Pulitzer, and so you are cordially invited to sign up for the event right there on the screen. That would be so cool. Let me drop that into the Substack. If you wanted to come, and if you wanted to let me know that you were there from, so you are cordially, if you wanted to let me know that you are there from the community of the Mega Church of Joy, that would be absolutely incredible. So Ann Telnay's. So let's go back to Oliver Willis over here, and we will talk about it. The cartoonist who quit she won a Pulitzer. That's incredible. Bill Kristol tweeted this out. He was talking about that he is not quite abolish ICE, but he's getting awfully anti-abolish ICE. Hey, Neely Hopper. Hey, GSD Warrior. What does GSD Warrior mean? Let me know in the chat. But so what I wanted to share, especially about this piece of news, is the reality that local news still is winning. Danis Targaryen, the local news is still winning the day. Local news is still large and in charge. So the Kansas Reflector is part of the State's Newsroom. The State's Newsroom is a project created by Steve Waldman, who is, the paragon of trying to advance the quality and amount of local journalism in this country. Rebuild Local News Network is Steve Waldman's effort. Steve Waldman is someone who is committed, hardcore. Get shit done, warrior. All right, well, let's get shit done. Let's be fact warriors today. Are you all going to be fact warriors today with Rev Deuce and spread fact-based information that aligns with small d democracy every single time you are online in the face of the information war that is being waged against all of our brains at all times? Every single time you are online, your brain is being carried around by a bald eagle that is being held in the sky, and Elon Musk and Vladimir Putin and Iran and China are trying to undermine your faith in democracy. They are trying to undermine your faith in each other, and they are trying to destroy our will to stand up in the face of fascism. Yes, and. So, a rural Kansas county is postcard. Good morning, bathrobe guy. We love you. Welcome into the space. We would love for people to call in and talk about their media diets. We love David and we love Madison so much, and we love Michaela, but those are the OGs who are comfortable calling into the show. So this show works best when we especially talk to our MAGA friends and loved ones. And so if you have MAGA friends and loved ones, we would love to talk to them. We would love for them to be a part of our community, because it is about us and them versus everyone else. It is not about you versus me, MAGA. We want to tell people to go and use the products that we have created. To MAGA with love. Charlie Kirk is a billionaire psyop. Send those things to your loved ones. We have gotten the feedback in the past that our program of explaining our information ecosystem has helped people to get off of the MAGA information stream, and so we want that for your loved one as well. So have them call into the show. So a rural Kansas county is postcard perfect. Its for-profit jail is a way station to deportation hell. We wanted to share this with everyone today, so we are going to drop it into the chats so that you can all be fact warriors. Every single time you are online, you need to spread fact-based information that aligns with small d democracy, because the billionaires have the means to make the AI bot farms and to make the troll farms and to pay the people. That is what is happening at all times in this world. We are being bombarded. Now, this is really horrible. Rumeysa Öztürk's case is unprecedented and shocking. She's been held behind bars for 6 weeks while her health deteriorates for writing an op-ed. For writing an op-ed, the most sacred act you could take in America. An America that was founded by founders who specifically enshrined only one profession, journalism, into the Constitution. Founders who subsidized the distribution of pamphlets and newspapers for 100 years. Something like in 1832, 90% of the weight of all mail was pamphlets and newspapers. And they were deeply subsidized by the government. The postage costs were reduced because the founders believed deeply in spreading information. James Madison said that popular government without popular information is nothing more than a prelude to a farce, a tragedy, or something worse. And I left out the most important part. Popular government without popular information or the means of acquiring it. And so that is what we are helping people do here. Can you get active in the chat? Can you talk and tap on the screen? We would love to talk to you. If you want to call in, Rev Deuce is here for you to talk to you about your fear, to talk to you about those you hold dear, to talk to you about tightening your rear. We are here not sucking down information light, but we are sucking down information tight. The kind of media diet that gives us buns of steel so that we can work our butts off to save democracy. Yes, and because Steve Bannon, look at what he's doing at all times. He is flooding the zone with shit. There he is, flooding some guy's zone with shit. He's telling people to hate democracy. He's just casually ruining everything. We want to remind you that this program is brought to you by Grass Milk Soar. Yes, and. Let's get back into the tub. Please, we would love for you. We've got some viewers on YouTube and Twitch. We would love for you to come over to Twitch and follow us there, to engage with us there. We are trying to get to something called affiliate status on Twitch. Rose Tony, you are one of our hardcore members, and we are so appreciative for you, Rose Tony. I used to fly the upside down flag as well. We're continuing to go through the news with Deuce. The Justice Department is, hey, Momro, welcome on in. Momro, please like, follow, subscribe, engage, keep talking in that chat. Let them know. So Phil Bump, who we used to give a really hard time to. I used to give such a good hard time. Do you know the account Fix Media Now on Twitter? That was me. I was running that account for the Media and Democracy Project, and I used to give Phil Bump such a hard time, but, you know, I really came around to him. He writes for the Washington Post, and we critique mainstream media plenty. Good morning, Jason. Welcome back into the space. So Phil Bump, he said we should understand this for what it is. Oh, my goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. We should understand this for what it is, an effort to build public consent for the president to ignore the Supreme Court. Incredible, Momro. Yes, we need that Twitch action. Hell yeah. If you are watching on Substack, please watch on Twitch. The stream is faster. There's less of a delay. So we should understand this for what it is, an effort to build public consent for the president to ignore the Supreme Court. This is the kind of context that we provide so that we can understand the news here at Public Enlightenment in the mega church of joy. So where we worship facts. So the Justice Department investigating 2022 Abrego Garcia traffic stop, right? There's nothing more to investigate. He was driving some people for work. I don't know if y'all have seen the video of him driving. He seems like a jovial guy in the face of the police pulling him over. The police are going like, well, you got a lot of people in here. The police are insinuating and implying that he is doing something illegal. Meanwhile, it seems as though these men are just obviously workers traveling from one state to another to do work. So we are going to, actually, this is just an article reporting on that. Hello, Momro. We're so grateful for you. Yes, get active in that chat. Tell other people to follow. I'm old enough to remember someone me. So what is he writing about? America's least American president. We are looking for any piece of persuasive information to share with people. I know this is behind a paywall, apparently, but we are fact warriors, and we are spreading fact-based, persuasive information across the nation. Why did that not go through? I just put that into the chat. It didn't work. Is it because I can't put links? Wait, hold on. Let me do something. Permit public enlightenment. That's me. I have to permit myself to be able to share stuff? I have permission to post the link. It didn't work. Okay, so sorry. That's because it's a huge link. Okay, that's why. Oh my goodness gracious. That is so dumb. Look at the hall of mirrors I've created on the screen there. At first glance, the corruption of the DOJ is a boon to people like DeSantis, and assurance that the AG will look the other way even when obvious crime is going on. Just a reminder, because our mainstream media fails to remind people of the reality that Pam Bondi is one of the most corrupt individuals to ever be the Attorney General of the United States. Pam Bondi in the 2008 aughts. She received a bribe from Donald Trump when he was receiving in Florida multiple complaints and allegations of fraud for Trump University. And Pam Bondi took that $25,000 donation and looked the other way. She reduced the complaints down to 1 from 22. That is deep corruption. Obviously, Donald Trump is one of the most corrupt figures in American history. It is all so corrupt, and we push back on the normalization here. At first glance, the corruption of the DOJ is a boon to people like DeSantis, but that corruption comes with an inherent risk. What happens if Trump decides he doesn't like you any longer? The Hope Florida scandal explained. So we want you to, we trust public. We trust this source of information. This is Aaron Rupar's source public notice. And so I don't know what's going on with our Substack right now. I apologize, but go join on Twitch. We are dropping this fact-based information into the... DeSantis looks so happy with his rubber boots. Robert Reich said a federal judge rejected Republican efforts to throw out thousands of votes cast in the North Carolina Supreme Court race. If you have been following the Supreme Court race, obviously we know that, our Republican colleagues in this world, as it were, are constantly trying to, voter suppress. They used the big lie about the election to pass hundreds of voter suppression laws in states across the country. And so it is very, very encouraging and exciting for democracy when we see that a federal judge has rejected Republican efforts to throw out the votes cast in the North Carolina Supreme Court race. This guy simply will not stop. It is a redux of the 2000 presidential election, as it were. But we are happy to see that the courts are not capitulating. Yes, and. So are you going to be a fact warrior today? We are worshiping facts here because that's what we do. And so are you going to use these facts that Rev Deuce is sharing and your own facts from your own fact-based sources of information that provide the context you need to understand the news so that you can go out there and be a fact warrior in the information war that is being waged at all times? I would love for you to join live and talk to me about how the information war has destroyed your relationships. I want to support you. I want to hear from you. I know people who have had a rough relationship with their families. They no longer talk to their families. They're estranged from them. And that is the point. Iran, China, Russia, Israel, and billionaires in the United States are all attacking our minds at all times, trying to sow doubt in democratic institutions. At some point, I would love to share with and everyone on Substack the response call I got from Senator McCormick's office. Well, Jason, if you can go sneak into the bathroom at work and tell us about it, you can call into the program. The number is right there on the screen. Thank you, yes, and. We would love to hear about that, Jason. We'd love to hear what anyone has to say. We're so grateful for the people who engage with us. We're so grateful for Mom Rowe and for everybody else, David, everyone else who's watching. Because I use Streamlabs, I have no idea who's watching. I don't know how to do anything. I don't want to take the time to try and figure it out, but I don't know who's in here. I literally can't even see who's in here unless you chat. So chat away, tap that heart on the Substack. I'm so grateful for all of you. Trump's newest grift, the family's cryptocurrency empire and the gutting of regulations. Yes, Jason is going to call into the program in 5 minutes to talk about his conversation with his senator. I never remember where his senator is from. Jason, thank you for putting up with me, even though I never remember that. So we want to look at this. We want to be fact warriors. We want to go out into the world and spread this fact-based information about the world. So Democracy Now! Is a fact-based news organization that reports in the public interest. And so we're going to drop that in there, and you are going to share that. You're going to store all these away, okay, people? And you are going to share them and spread facts. Paul Leary is in the house. Paul, amazing. So we just picked up Paul from TikTok. I can't stop being online, and so I went on to TikTok before the stream today. Let me drop this into the chat so that you can all be fact warriors. Paul Leary, hell friggin' yeah, baby. Incredible. So we are so excited for Jason to call in. And of course, Paul, if there's something that you are afraid of, we are also a religion based on the tenets of quality improvisational comedy. And David is one of our most ardent adherents, and we are so grateful for David because of that. Jen G, welcome in. We love you, Jen G. We want to support you, Jen G. Have you had a difficult relationship with your MAGA loved ones because of the disinformation purpose-built stream that has been created for them? We want to talk to you about it. We want to remind you that you can go to publicenlightenment.com where you can, I'm literally creating projects to try to bridge the divides. And we want you to share this with your loved ones. We want you to bring them into this space so that we can have the important conversations about what it means to live in an information ecosystem that is purpose-built to destroy our trust in each other, to destroy our faith in each other. We have fascism in America because of our information ecosystem. Are you kidding my daddy? So Trump's newest grift, Molly White, on his cryptocurrency empire and the gutting of regulations. Rev Deuce can't wait to tuck into that one later. One of the next articles that I'm going to come out with is like, these are the 5 articles you need to read to understand what's going on. Because we read an incredible piece from Anne Klein. Incredible. Did you all see that piece from Anne Klein? That was amazing, talking about the accelerationists both within the Christian nationalist world and the techno-fascist world and how their interests are merging. We've been talking about that. David can attest to it since this program has begun. And we're so grateful we're jealous and we're grateful for people like Anne Klein who have gotten their energy together to create such an incredible article. And we want that to be a place where you can always go and find it by creating an article for all of you. An Israeli app used by then U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz to archive chats on Signal was easily hacked and his messages accessed by a hacker, new reporting reveals. This is from Truthout, another incredible pro-democracy news organization. You may have all seen how Big Balls was interviewed on Fox by Jesse Waters, sitting there with Elon Musk recently. If you did not see that, you don't need to see it. But Big Balls, Edward Korestein, Truth Out, reported on the reality that he had created a bunch of horrific websites with the N-word in the name, with references to child sexual assault in the name. Horrible stuff. And this kid is being lionized and lifted up by Fox propaganda. It's horrible. And so do your MAGA loved ones get the context they need to understand the world? Absolutely not. We are getting the call from Jason right now. We are so excited. This is the first time we're ever going to talk to Jason. And so, Jason, welcome into the program. Jason, it is so amazing to have you finally talking to you. I've got your back. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Deuce. How are you?
I'm so good. Listen to you. Oh, thank you for being here. It's so great to have you.
So, unfortunately, I can't make it too long, but I will tell you that I have been trying to reach out to Senator McCormick. I've given up on John Fetterman. He's our other senator. But Fetterman, he's just, unfortunately, he's tuned out. But the other gentleman, Dave McCormick, is currently just, trying to play loose and fast. He's trying not to show that his true hand is in the MAGA regime. But, he's trying to do all these other things that are like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm more of a center guy. So I've been calling him for about 3 months. And today I finally get a phone call from one of his staff members. And this dude could not have been any more indignant, any more frustrated with me. You imagine that, right? This is what we're up against, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, David McCormick is Republican, but he's trying to say I'm a never Trumper, or he's a Democrat.
Oh, he's a Republican and he's a Trumper, but he's doing this whole hey, I'm a millionaire, but don't get it twisted. I'm here for the people. And listen, you can be. Look at J.D. Pritzker, but that's not the case. This guy is way undercover. He's already put $1 million into Bitcoin, from what I understand, or close to it. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact numbers. I apologize. They've said anywhere from $700,000 to $1 million in Bitcoin. This is stuff I've read. Different sources have said around the same number.
Well, that's horrible. So so you called to say what? You called specifically to say just a general thing? Did you call to say, I want you to work on this immigration stuff and defend due process? I want you to make it so that Marco Rubio can no longer, use an immigration law to decide what speech is allowed in America by immigrants and by people on green cards. What did you say to David McCormick's staff?
Okay, great question. And the reason I'm leaving it open like that is just to let it flow a little. Basically, my question was, my friend lost his job through Doge cuts. He'd been in the Navy. I think he even seen some wartime, but nothing, too intense. And he doesn't talk about it much. But he was in the service since we left high school and just got out maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
So, yeah, about 15 years ago. And he got a job in Philadelphia, moved his wife. And my first impassioned letter was, hey, listen, there's something going on in America. This Elon Musk, we all know who he is, Senator McCormick. Love to hear back from you. This is a bipartisan thing. No one should be rooting around.
Yeah, incredible. And, we just want to thank you for being an engaged civic member of society, because not enough people are doing that. So we love you and we lift you up, and we're grateful for you doing that. Keep going.
Well, thank you so much. And then basically what ended up following up next, I don't want to monopolize too much of your time.
Take it all, baby.
What ended up and then what ended up happening was I went on a mission. So I sent every email that was fact-based that I could, and, based on real good streams of content, nothing too absurd, nothing from CNN.com. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but it's not my bag. But I was doing fact-based stuff about just, more Elon stuff, and it just kept going and going and going, and I would call every day. And then eventually I ended up basically taking the phone calls to next level, and I called every office that he had in Pennsylvania. And I wasn't absurd, I wasn't cursing, I wasn't flipping out. I think the most heated I ever said was you work for us, I don't work for you. I demand you sponsor me. So this went on for 3 months, and then finally I just kept upticking everything. And it basically kept stemming around Doge, people being homeless, people suffering. He does the whole, fentanyl. And then you got Pam Bondi saying however many million people were
258 million. What an absurd piece of propaganda. Keep going.
Exactly. So I'm like, this is no, you're not gonna do this to me, and to my friend, and to the great people on Substack. You're not gonna sit here and tell us all this insanity about fentanyl and everything else you're saying, and then try to pull the wool over people's eyes. You're not gonna do it. Like, you're just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna stand for it. And but, again, never cursed. I called into question, how can you be at West Point when you voted in for Pete Hegseth? Like, you wanted Pete Hegseth there, but you want to tell all the people at West Point that were men and women in photos with you, I'm for you guys. The hypocrisy mounted so heavily that I was like, no, I'm done. And again, I don't mean to be too amped up on you. I'm just giving you the breakdown of why I called, and it basically just kept stemming from that. You're going to be hypocritical. You're going to do some dastardly stuff. I'm going to call you out on it. And again, I don't think I ever once cursed.
Yeah, so that's amazing. So look, also everybody in the chat, everybody who's watching across Twitch, YouTube, and Substack right now, be like Jason. Jason, that's incredible. Not everybody has the time, not everybody has the energy, but if you have the time and energy to come hang out with your old pal Deuce every morning, you definitely have the energy to be like David, to call. It does matter to call into your members of Congress. It really does. Now, David, what we want to hear, because content is built on salaciousness. So, David, what we really want to hear is how much of a fear-based dickhead this staff member was to you. What did he say to you? How did that part go down?
So basically, he was like, I called back and I just said, hello, you called from this number. I looked the number up and it said Scranton University, which is a nice college here in our area. Well, not my area, upstate. So I was like,
I've been there. I partied there many times in my teenage and early 20 years.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you know the area. And so I get the call, and I go, hi, how are you? I'm just returning the call. He goes, yeah. And I go, this is Jason Dyer. He's like, yeah, you called a couple times or something to that effect. I'm sorry I don't have it verbatim because I'm still a little amped up. And I was just like, oh, yeah, this is what I did. I'm calling you back. And the guy goes, yeah, well, what's your issue? What's my issue? Well, wait a minute. In the words of Christopher Walken in whatever that movie was, you coming at me all wrong here. All I'm doing is calling.
Wait, what movie is that?
I forget what movie that is. Jesus.
You're coming at me all wrong here.
Yeah, you're coming at my guy all wrong. I think it was Joe Dirt. But the point is like, I was like, no, wait a minute. You're gonna really kind of have this like attitude. Like, if this is your guy, defend him. If this is your guy, say something. And then he's like, well, you have the opportunity to do our town halls. I said, no, I want an in-person town hall. He then proceeded to say, no, we're not doing that. Basically, just like, no, that's not really an option. We do the town halls. And if you listen to Adam Kinzinger, he basically said, no, that's all ridiculous. If anyone's trying to push that, forget it. Like, you're not going to get any kind of real leeway. You're not going to get any kind of real headway with that because they're just screening the calls, which is what I found out, Deuce, because I called twice.
Oh, that's fascinating. So it's just a way to avoid even like any accountability because they just screen the calls.
Yep.
That's fascinating. Yep. Who knew that out there in the audience? That's fascinating. So, and when your congressperson is not doing in-person town halls, part of that is a strategy to just limit the calls to people that maybe they even have the phone numbers. They have a database, maybe even live. Why not? They have access to all of the voter information. So yeah, if somebody calls in and like maybe they might get a pissed off never Trumper or someone who votes Republican in the past. But that's fascinating. Fascinating stuff. All right, keep going. Jay, just to remind the audience, we're talking to Jason about his calls to the senator who appears on the screen there, who is being corrupt with his Bitcoin dealings. Jason's been calling and being a good, civically engaged human being who's standing up for all of us in this time, which we all should be standing up. So, David, keep going.
So,
Jason. Sorry.
Too, it's okay. I totally understand. You got a lot going on. So basically, he's also one of the committees. If you look it up, and I apologize, I don't have all the information in front of me. I just wanted to give you a quick call. But yeah, he's on one of the oversight committees of some degree.
He's on the Senate Banking Committee.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. That is what it is. I apologize. So I do have my facts normally. I'm a little all over the place. But yeah, so my man is doing stuff. And, he's like, I was in West Point, I was in Iraq, but you're going to let my friend lose his job? You're not going to talk about that with me? And then you're going to have one of your guys call me back and give me all this, like, well, we're doing our thing here, man. We're just, we're calling you back, but you called 170 times. I said, yeah, and I'm going to continue to do so. Like, that's not a problem for me. I'll call you 170 more times in 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like this big blow off. Like, we're not accountable to you. This is my guy. This is my horse in the race, and I don't have to listen to you kind of attitude. I mean, honestly, I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not just speaking out of turn. I mean, it was literally that kind of blowback. Like, yeah, man, we got you. We hear you. That was literally the tone. Yeah, okay. And then he let me talk, which was great. But again, I wasn't cursing. I wasn't flipping out. And I made a point. Every time I got heated, the next call I made, I said, I'm going to bring some compassion online. I'm going to understand that whoever's taking these calls has to hear my voice. I said, so I'm going to try to be more respectful. I'm going to try to take some of the vitriol out of my voice. But you guys are making it real hard to do so. So I think this was like a mea culpa, not a mea culpa. Like, this was like one of those things where it's like, hey, give this guy a call. Shut him up. Have him stop calling. Have him stop emailing. And I don't know. I mean, at this point, Deuce, I don't know. Maybe I should probably keep calling, but it's tiring.
John, it's unfortunate that Fetterman is your other senator because, I don't know, all I can understand about Fetterman is that he seems like a total maniac. But what could happen is maybe you could reach out to your congressperson, your member of Congress for your district there. Are they a Republican or a Democrat?
Oh, no, they're Democrat. I've spoken to her office, Mary Gay Scanlon. She has been an advocate for my friend Jay Smith. His stuff has been on Facebook. Maybe Facebook as well, but he's been on Substack, and people are ripping him apart. Oh, that's what you get. FAO, find out.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's horrible.
Sorry for cursing.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. And so, I know the guy. Like, I don't want to put too much of his information out there. He's not a racist because his wife is Japanese. Now, I mean, I'm just saying. So he may not be racist towards. I don't know. I know him not to be a racist, but if someone says, "Oh, well, he married this person," but who knows? I mean, maybe that sounds a little silly. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm getting off the track.
Wait, what are we talking about now? What are we talking about?
My friend. Well, because they were on Facebook or on Substack, they were calling him a racist, and they were calling my friend a racist. And he's a scumbag traitor, and he wants to see people be deported, and all this crazy talk. And I'm like, wait a minute, you don't even know the guy, and you're making that. And so it kind of lends itself to what you do every morning, talking about facts, talking about real stuff, and they don't know him yet. They're calling my friend, a horrible person. He found out what he deserved. And he did the right thing. He went online. He was.
Is this because your friend voted for Trump?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't make
see.
that clear.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering what the context was for that.
Yeah, my apologies. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a little all over.
That's okay, Jason. I mean, I'm so grateful for you, and I think we're all grateful for you. Did you vote for Trump?
No.
Okay. Now, one thing that we really love about you, Jason, is your hardcore southeastern Pennsylvania accent, which is friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
When you said Doge before, you were like Doge, and it was incredible. Because we should mispronounce Doge. Not that you're mispronouncing it, because that's where you're from. But we should call it dodgy. We should call it anything than the realistic thing that our media creates it to be, which is insane. Now. Oh, look, I just got an email from LinkedIn. It's so funny. LinkedIn is such an annoying thing. Okay, so, Jason, we are so grateful to have you and for having you talk. It's been so amazing to have you be a part of our community. You have been a diehard in the Substack, and we're so grateful. And I would love to communicate with you more. I'd love to hear more about what you want me to be producing. Everybody who's watching, I am creating things online for you to use to share fact-based information, to help you find fact-based information. That's really the whole deal here. So if you're new here on Substack, I've seen Neil Abrams, who I've interacted with before in the past. I'm so grateful to have you here, Neil, if you're still watching. I'm grateful for everybody who spends time with Rev Deuce being fact warriors. And so, Jason, I'm so grateful for you. Do you have anything else that you want to say? I'm so grateful for your call. Well, I think we should move on, but I'm so grateful. But I want to hear if you have anything else to say.
For everyone listening, just keep plugging away. I don't plan to slow down. Just try to make those calls. I know it's a pain. But even if you make a 5-second call, hey, I'm calling again. I want to hear from my senator. I want a town hall. That's all I can leave it at. It's just advocacy because this isn't the world we want.
Absolutely. Yes, and love you, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. Love you too, Deuce. And I will try to call periodically. And you guys all have a wonderful day.
Incredible. We will have a wonderful day. How will you have a wonderful day out there? Will you be a fact warrior? Will you tell people that you love them? Will you lift people up by spreading fact-based information that aligns with small d democracy? Jason, I'm going to hang up on you now.
You got it.
Okay. And so we are out here every day being fact warriors because we understand that our what is happening in America is the result of the media diets of our loved ones. Wow, I didn't even cue that up, but there we go. Our friends and family are sucking down milkshakes of dog shit and broken glass when it comes to their media diet, and we are just letting it happen. What is the deal with that? We can no longer let that happen. We have to be fact warriors like this young AI-generated woman. We have to be fact warriors like this young AI-generated man. Don't come for me for using AI to generate images. I'm so sorry, but I'm doing the best I can with what I have. Okay? Every single day, Steve Bannon is there trying to blast shit into our brains, okay? He's getting us to hate democracy. He's flooding our whole zones with shit. All right? And so we need to stop sucking down information light, and we need to get real. And we need to be having media diets and sharing media diets. We are an unhealthy country. Our brains are unhealthy. We need to get a media diet that makes our buns information tight, baby. That is what I am talking about. So we worship facts here because there's no other way. In a time of darkness, Rev Deuce emerged into the land to show people the way, to let them understand that facts were the only thing that could save a nation that was divided by disinformation. In fact, every single time you are online, it is your mission, your deep joy to spread fact-based information so that we can get back to connecting with our MAGA loved ones, because human connection is the greatest path, the only path towards joy. And we are being divided by Iran. We are being divided by China. We are being divided by Vladimir Putin. We are being divided by Elon Musk. We are being divided by Barry Weiss. We are being divided by Christopher Rufo. We are being divided by Megyn Kelly, Rupert Murdoch, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, Davey Rubin, Tim Pool, all of these people who are paid by people who want them to divide us and disinform us. And so you are here because you are a member of the Mega Church of Joy, and you understand that Rev Deuce is saving the world with quality, fact-based information that aligns with democracy. Look at this. This is a look into the future. This is a painting from 2123 where they are worshiping Rev Deuce, me, who came along in the early 2020s to save America and to save the planet Earth by sharing fact-based information with our loved ones and speaking and preaching a message of joy so that we would no longer be divided by the billionaires. It is not you versus me, friend. It is us versus them. Yes, and so if you would be so kind as to like, follow, subscribe, watch all my videos all the way through till the end, because the algorithms love engagement and they are being tuned by the giant fear-based dickhead billionaires to divide all of us. And so what do we have in the face of their resources and their ability to create the AI bot farms? What do we have in the face of their resources and their ability to buy media, to buy newspapers, to tune them, the headlines, right? They A/B test headlines to be as sensational and as appealing to the widest amount of people possible. A commercialized corporate system for informing the public, coupled with a purpose-built right-wing propaganda and disinformation ecosystem, is a recipe for disaster, friends. It is a recipe. We are aching for a break-in. We're cruising for a bruising. We're hurting for a dirtin'. That's right. Our society and our democracy will die if we do not get active and spread fact-based information every single second of every single day that we are online. If you are a person who believes deeply that we are here in America with fascism because on 1/3 of our fellow Americans have been turned against us in an information war that most of us go throughout our day, and we do not fight at all. We have sat on the sidelines. We have sat on our hands in the information war while giant dickheads spread disinformation across the world. So you are now a member of the mega team on the Mega Church of Joy. You are in the Mega Tub of Joy with Deuce, spreading fact-based information. We do this every single weekday, 9 to 11 a.m. We need to grow it. Rev Deuce needs to make a living from this. So yes, Rev Deuce is grifting you, but it is a good grift. It is a grift that is built on saving humanity. It is a grift that is built on filling the nation with fact-based information. We worship facts here. Yes, and 1,000,000 times yes, and. I love you, you love me. We just had an incredible call with our friend Jason. Jason is a wonderful friend of the program, and Jason is doing it right. Now, Jason reminded me of something that I wanted to talk to you all about. First of all, I want to share, unfortunately, the Philadelphia Inquirer is behind a paywall. If you join the Discord, Rev Deuce will show you his trick to get behind most paywalls. Jason, you are such a diehard friend of the program, and we are so grateful for you. I also love that you are a normal person, because sometimes people can be not normal on the internet, and it's okay to not be normal. But I love people who can call and cogently express how they feel to their members of Congress. We are so grateful for that here. So please be a fact warrior and spread this information about David McCormick, who is obviously a corrupt individual based on the way that he is using his position on the Senate Banking Committee to enrich himself using crypto coin. Now, I am reminded by Jason that one of the things that I believe is the greatest journalism that we have going today. One of the things I believe is the greatest journalism that we have going today is Last Week Tonight. Within 25 minutes last week tonight, I wish I had a staff of 60. You wouldn't even believe what Rev Deuce would be pushing out. You wouldn't even believe how funny Rev Deuce could be. I looked up Last Week Tonight and I got, that's funny. Anyway, I want you, one thing that you can do is you can share Last Week Tonight episodes around the world every single time they are posted online. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble figuring out how to share this with you all.
We're going to dive straight in with our main story.
So I want you to go onto the internet right now, because you're already there, you know what I mean? I want you to get onto the internet, and I want you... Oh, that's what I should do when I'm sharing links, is I should come in here. I want you to get on the internet, and I want you to share this link out with people to this incredible, every Last Week Tonight, but the ones that are specifically about our fascism are the best ones. And I want us to all do something inspired by Jason. I want us all to do something right now, actually. I want us all to call our members of Congress.
Please, you do you.
I'm going to call
And
my
the thing
member
is,
of
this
Congress.
could all get worse, because while thankfully the courts have tried to curb Trump's use of these two acts, they've also seemed to sign off on a new diabolical strategy the administration's been using, involving a decades-old legal provision called registration of aliens. It allows the administration to require undocumented people register with the government and carry proof of that registration. And it is clearly a trap, because if you register and give the government all your information, you become an easy target. But if you don't, or are caught not carrying proof, you can be charged with a federal misdemeanor, allowing them to label you a criminal and putting you at risk of deportation. And this is already happening. People have been charged in Texas and Arizona using this mechanism. Basically, they can't find enough criminals to deport, so they found a way to turn more people into criminals so that they suddenly can. It's a desperate but depressingly effective move. And that's not even getting into the other plans that they've teased, from Marco Rubio saying we are actively searching for other countries to take people, to the administration floating the idea of labelling suspected gang members as enemy combatants. They've also tried to stop anyone who stands in their way. Just last week, they arrested a judge in Wisconsin for supposedly helping an immigrant evade ICE. And on Thursday, ICE made a big production out of serving a search warrant as part of an investigation into these flyers that were posted months ago with information about ICE agents on them. They even released dramatic footage of them rolling up to the house of their target's parents.
Just a little bit.
Amazon Prime thing. Guess who wasn't there? The guy they were looking for, as he apparently moved to New York last month. A mistake, for the record, that Amazon would not make. And while that's almost laughably absurd, it's also obviously scary and extremely dangerous. And it kind of gets to the heart of all of this, which is Trump loudly selling his supporters the lie that he'll protect them from existential threats, only to further government overreach and state violence, even while deporting makeup artists, unlucky soccer fans, and 4-year-olds with cancer. So what can we do? Well, some of this depends on elected leaders, and to their credit, a number of prominent Democrats have gone to El Salvador to call attention to this, which is definitely preferable to the approach that others have taken, with some anonymous House Democrats quoted as saying, should it be the big issue for Democrats? Probably not. And complaining, rather than talking about the tariff policy and the economy, we're going to go take the bait for one hairdresser, which is absolutely enraging, especially as many voters do seem to get the clear problem with deporting people without due process to a prison for life, even in red states. Here's Chuck Grassley being confronted at a town hall in Iowa.
You gonna bring that guy back from El Salvador?
This guy with his voice. They don't show it in this video.
Why not?
But later he just goes, I'm pissed. It's really funny.
Supreme Court said to bring him back.
And the president isn't upholding the Constitution. He's defined the Constitution. You're on the Judiciary Committee.
Trump don't care.
If I get an order to pay a ticket for $1,200 and I just say no, does that stand up? Because he's got an order from the Supreme Court and he just said no.
Exactly. That man, who definitely owes a real $1,200 ticket, is right on the nose there. The president is clearly not following the law as he is required to. And look, if your elected officials aren't holding town halls, you can still tell them you care about this issue. Call them and say if they believe in due process, they should work to repeal the Alien Enemies Act and amend the part of Section 237 of the INA that lets Marco Rubio decide whose free speech is a threat.
Okay, we're going to do that right now. Amend Section 237 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. The Secretary of State should not be deciding free speech, who can and who cannot use free speech. And what was the other thing that he said?
They should work to repeal the Alien Enemies Act and amend the part of Section 237 of the INA that lets Marco Rubio decide whose free speech is a threat. But in the meantime, if your elected officials aren't holding town halls, you can still tell them you care about this issue. Call them and say if they believe in due process, they should work to repeal the Alien Enemies Act and amend the part of Section 237 of the INA that lets Marco Rubio decide whose free speech is a threat. But in the meantime, we're going to need to help immigrants.
Rev Deuce is going to drop his Deuce voice, and he is going to call his senators right now. Oh, that's right. My senators are no longer in New Jersey. My senators are in New York. So let me call them right now. Okay, so that means Chuck Schumer. Senate, what is it called? Senate, switchboard. The number is 2. I used to have it memorized. So Senate switchboard number. Everyone else, you do this right now, okay? So here we go. 202. Everyone do this right now. 224. 3121. I'm calling so that you can also hear using this Google Voice number. Okay.
Capital Operator, may I help you?
Hi, Senator Schumer, please.
One moment, please.
Hi, it's Senator Chuck Schumer, and thanks for calling my Washington, D.C. office. For general office information and hours of operation, please press 1. For assistance with a federal agency, please press 2. To share your opinion with me, please press 3. If you prefer to speak, to leave a comment on a legislative matter, please visit schumer.senate.gov. Click on Contact and submit your comment electronically. You may also press any button to leave a message. After the tone, please be sure to leave your name.
Hey, my name is Brian Hansberry. I live in Brooklyn. Senator Schumer, we need you to do so much more. We need you to stand up for democracy. We need you to stand up for due process. Obviously, we are past a constitutional crisis. I think a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, I saw you talking about how what would trigger an actual constitutional crisis right now. It's clear, it should be clear to you and your staff that crisis has been going on for years, let alone the past few months since Donald Trump has decided to destroy our government on behalf of Christian nationalists. Please work on repealing the Alien Enemies Act, and please work on Section 237 of the Immigration Nationality Act. You know, we shouldn't have the Secretary of State deciding who can have free speech. That's absurd. And what's happening in general is awful. People are being shipped to a foreign prison. I mean, you know this, Chuck. So when are you going to, chain yourself to the doors of the Senate? When are you going to do something that actually matters and that has effect? Please, America is begging you to understand the gravity of the situation.
You have reached the maximum length for a recording. To send this message, press pound or hang up. To play it, 3.
All right,
Your
great.
message has been sent.
Okay, are you doing this at the same time? I'm sorry if my voice is loud while you are also doing this. But so please call your representatives right now. The number is on the screen. Operators are standing by. You just call this switchboard number. It is for the general switchboard at the Capitol.
Hello, United States Capitol Operator.
Senator Gillibrand, please.
Certainly. Connecting to Senator Gillibrand's office now. You take care.
You too.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
That guy was nice. Are you calling Shelley? Way to go, David.
Thank you for calling the Washington, D.C. office of Senator Kirsten Gillibrand of New York. If you are receiving this message, you have either called outside of our normal business hours or all of our lines are currently busy.
Hell yeah.
Please leave a message after the tone and we will attend to your call as soon as possible. Thank you for calling.
Hi, I know it's tough to be a senator. I know you're not making millions of dollars necessarily. I know that it's a lot of work. I totally get it. The thing is that when you ran and when you swore your oath, you swore an oath to the Constitution. And obviously you understand that the Constitution is being eviscerated on the behalf of Christian nationalist billionaires and techno-fascist billionaires. The time for pretending that that's not happening is over, and we desperately need you. My name is Brian Hansberry. I live in Brooklyn. We desperately need you to fight for the due process rights of everyone. We desperately need you to make it impossible for the Secretary of State to decide whose speech is allowed in this country if you are on American soil. And we desperately need you to care and do everything possible. I mean, think back about the history of this country and what other leaders have done in the past, in the civil rights movement, in the labor rights movement. And what do you want your legacy to be, Kirsten, Miss Gillibrand? What do you want your legacy to be? Are you going to stand up? Are you going to do anything that matters? And I'm not talking about performative stuff like Cory Booker, who then votes in all of Donald Trump's nominees. I'm talking about real stuff. I wish I could vote for a real leader to replace you. But right now, you are who we have. And so I need you to stand up. America needs you to stand up. Please. We are desperate.
You have reached the maximum length
Boom.
for a
Nailed it.
recording. To send this message, press pound or hang up. To play it, 3.
That's how I
your
like to
message
give
has
my
been
messages.
Sent.
To our senators, here we go.
If you would like
Deuce
to
is
try an
back. Sorry,
extension,
everyone,
you may
for
do so now.
confusing you. This is Deuce is back in action.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Who's my congressperson? That one hit the post, yeah. Who is my congressperson? I think it's Dan Goldman. Hold on one second. I should know, but I've only lived here for a year. I know. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I nailed it. It's like the lead into a radio thing. Are you calling your congresspeople right now? Are you standing up for due process? That's what we're doing here. We are not just fact warriors. We are democracy warriors. They are inexorably linked. You cannot be caring about facts and not caring about democracy at the same time. We are warriors for facts and democracy. Richie Torres is not my congressperson. Richie Torres is like Yonkers or something like that. Okay, it's Dan Goldman. So that's the Capitol switchboard numbers. Okay, that's the same number? U.S. House of... Wait, that's not the same number. I guess the Capitol switchboard... Okay, all right. 224-3121. Yeah? Is that what we're looking at? 224-3121. Okay, let's go. Here we go. Next one. Let's do it. Excuse me. Excuse me, I'd like to get by now. How do I call? Come on now. Make the call, dang it. All right, I'm going to enter it manually. Are you all taking part in democracy right now? And do you enjoy Deuce modeling for you what it looks like to be taking part in democracy?
United States Capitol operator.
Hey, Dan Goldman's office, please.
Yes, sir. One moment. Goldman. All right. Connecting you now. Take care.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
That's that same nice guy.
Good morning, Congressman Dan Goldman's office. How can I help you?
Hi, I am calling to just inquire as to what Representative Goldman is doing specifically about, this attack on due process and, Marco Rubio's seemingly God status to decide who is able to have free speech using the Immigration Nationality Act. What's Dan Goldman doing about that?
I do know that our congressman here has been signing on to amicus briefs, letters, demanding the administration to adhere to the rule of law and respect the due process. But if you are looking for other actions, I'm also willing to hear any recommendations you would like to see from the congressman if you are a constituent of his.
Yeah, absolutely. I live in Carroll Gardens. What I'd really like to see is just more messaging, right? Like okay. I know that Dan Goldman, I know that he did a great job acquitting some of the impeachment proceedings. I know that he's a really good orator. He's a really good arguer. He makes a lot of really good points. If you are someone like me who tunes into C-SPAN, who sees, him talking and caring about democracy. And I know it's hard in our information ecosystem to always get in front of cameras, but I think that, this is not just a matter of what's happening inside the halls of Congress. It's a public relations matter, right? There is a massive organization of media that is basically, attacking the minds of our fellow Americans, getting them to be on board with this fascism, on board with this destruction of due process. And so if we agree, and I'm sure that Representative Goldman does, if we agree that our problems are of information and people not knowing what is real or not real, what is true or not true, that it is imperative that Representative Goldman get out there I know it's hard. I know he's not making a huge salary. I know you're not making a huge salary. I know y'all are working hard, but this is an information war basically that has destroyed our democracy. And so it's imperative that as much as he possibly can, he take that as seriously as possible. Yes, his work inside Congress is huge, but if our fellow Americans believe that he's a Marxist, communist, child sex abuser, what does it really matter, what he says on C-SPAN, right? Mm-hmm. So I would just love it if that message could be communicated to him, that he needs to stand up, in front of cameras. And I know you all are working as hard as you can, and I'm very appreciative, but we need more art. We basically do not live in a democracy. Obviously, when Citizens United happened, we no longer lived in a democracy, but I don't know. I think you probably agree you'd like to live in a democracy, so let's go.
Of course, yes. Yes, especially in this office as well. We're extremely pro-democracy. All Congressman talks about is making sure our democracy is safe, especially in this rogue administration. But, of course, like I said earlier, I will happily pass the message along with your recommendations. Are you looking for a response from the congressman in the form of a letter of some sort?
No, use those time and resources for other messaging. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Of course. If that's all, I hope you have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there we go, everybody. We got our message of information and it being the most important thing to Dan Goldman's office. Yes, and we are fact warriors. We are so grateful for everyone who tuned in while we were doing that. I feel like I need to make some kind of flashing thing that says when we are talking to someone on the phone, because if I'm just sitting there listening to Jason before, it's less active for when people are talking. Maybe if I just do this and people are scrolling by on Substack, they'll go, what the heck is this guy doing? But so I'm so grateful for all of you. Would anyone like to call in and talk about how you just called your members of Congress? Because that is what we need to be doing at this time. We need to be standing up for democracy. We need to be taking to the streets. You can go to Rev Deuce's TikTok. Actually, one thing I might do today in the midst of all the 9 million other things that I need to do, I'm going to make a video about, that's interesting, Jason. Jason's saying in the Substack that it was a stark contrast to what he dealt with. But I want you to go. Rev Deuce made a video of when he went
Very
to this
often we'll
protest.
see people say, what is the point of rallying? What is the point of bringing people
We need to
together?
be modeling for
We
our
should
fellow
never
Americans
underestimate the
that
power of
protest is needed
organizing
at
right
this
now.
time. John Oliver, he actually literally calls for people to protest, which is incredible. We need that energy. Supdog said that operator is putting up generational numbers this morning. Amazing, Supdog. MH3 is Supdog. Brandon Genser, we would love for you to get one of your MAGA loved ones or relatives, or if you are a MAGA person, to join us and talk to us about your media diet. We have fascism in America because we have stopped giving a shit about each other and about civic engagement. And I know that if you're watching this program, you do care about civic engagement. But we all need to up our game in this time. And so we need to model what it means to stand up for democracy. We need to push back on the dumbest of, look at this, I did this video the other day as I'm trying to do anything possible to reach people. It did not do well because I guess the algorithm is tuned to know what I'm talking about. So I talked about this baseball play where this guy just eviscerated this child anyway. But go spread all the fact-based information. If you have the will and the time, it is literally a hand-to-hand combat information war, right? Because this person in this video, right, this woman right here is a victim in the information war. Yeah, mom bro. They're just like obliterated. The baseball player obliterated that kid. Hey, Madison, we love you. But this woman is everything that you see online, right? What happened was the information war started. Vladimir Putin started it. I mean, it was really started by the Christian nationalist billionaires who built hundreds of think tanks. The States Policy Network, in a study in 1995 by a gentleman, found that right-wing think tanks were referred to in major press at a level of 8-1 versus any other kind of think tank, centrist, progressive, whatever it was. That is the beginning of the information war, creating think tanks to manipulate public opinion. The Conservative Party used to be just one part of both parties. The Democrats and the Republicans both had conservatives, moderates, and liberals in them. And then the Republican Party purified itself starting in the 1970s. By the 1980s, that is when it truly began in earnest. So we have had an extreme party that looked polite since 1980, right? Make America Great Again was Roger Stone's idea in the 1980s. Ronald Reagan was a racist. Ronald Reagan is, if you look at all of the charts, 1980 is when wealth inequality goes crazy. I've been researching and studying what happened with our public education system. Ronald Reagan had an advisor named Harold A. Freeman. Harold A. Freeman said in a 1970 press conference that we are at risk of creating an educated proletariat. 1 year later, Lewis Powell produced his memo, future Supreme Court Justice Lewis Powell. And in it, he echoed the sentiment. I spoke with Rick Perlstein for my first and only podcast episode, and Rick Perlstein told me, he said, this is the Powell memo, yes, it is often referred to, but this was the feeling amongst white, aggrieved, wealthy business leaders for a long time in America, going back to the 40s. The war on Christmas began in the 1940s when I think the father of the Koch brothers ran an ad in the New York Times that said, will you be able to celebrate Christmas this year, based on his fears of communism coming to America. So all of these things have been at play the entire time I've been alive. There has been an effort that has led to this end game of this woman right here. This woman right here on the screen. She is the result of Vladimir Putin's war against our minds. She is the result of Steve Bannon's war, Chris Rufo's war, Barry Weiss's war, the billionaires' war, and the pundits they pay to manipulate all of us. And so what happened is, it started as bots. It started as inauthentic activity. It is basically this like an AstroTurf, right? This woman represents the end game of an AstroTurf, just like all of the adherents to Charlie Kirk's bullshit program of indoctrination and brainwashing. Charlie Kirk is the real brainwasher and the real indoctrinator. Who has, I posed this question in my piece about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is a billionaire psyop. I posed the question, who has more of an indoctrinating agenda? Someone who liked history and became a professor and is a history professor at a school where students go and sign up and say, I would like to study history? Or is it the man who drags a tailgate tent around the country and sets up a microphone and throws out autographed hats and hawks books like You're Being Brainwashed, College is the title is The College Scam? Who is the indoctrinator? Charlie Kirk is nothing more than the next apparatchik in the Christian right-wing billionaire extremist Christian nationalist effort to poison all of our society so that they can enable and establish a theocracy, yes and. So this woman right here in this video, this is all going back to the reality that you must be a fact warrior every single time you are online. And I know that sucks. But we are approaching a hot war where the 1/3 of the people who have been turned against us in the information war are going to pick up their weapons of war and use them against you and me and the radical leftist, communist, pedophile libtards who are destroying the country. Do you understand that that is the next step? Do you hear me? Do you care? What song is that? That's from the 1980s. Okay, so look, I'm doing dumb stuff like this, and it is dumb as hell, but I need you to do it too. This has actually become a trend. There's another video of some gentleman that I did this to. Stitch. It's called Make a Stitch. Look at how dumb this is. First of all, playing Bulls on Parade. Okay, now we keep having to do this. The due process was when the J6ers went to court and put their evidence in front of a judge, and so did the government. And they also smeared their shit. Okay? We gotta go hand to hand, everybody. I'm sorry. I would say don't go hand to hand with bots. Don't go hand to hand in the comments. Let me show you this. Let me show you what we're up against, everybody. You need to be a fact warrior at all times. While I look for this, you are going to have the treat.
Fact warrior. Fact warrior. Fact warrior. Fact warrior.
Hell yeah. That F-150 commercial that I created for fact-based information. Now, look, I'm working my ass off. Are you subscribing? Are you telling people about what Rev Deuce is doing? Are you getting more fact warriors? Because look, this is what Rev Deuce is doing. Okay? Rev Deuce is saving the nation from disinformation with quality fact-based information. Okay? We are fact warriors. We worship facts here, in fact. That's what we do in the mega tub of joy, in the mega church of joy. So Shawnee, Blatant Reset says, if creators can't understand that Rage Against the Machine would condemn their POV, then when using their music, I really don't see how we can engage them effectively. It is not about engaging that person. It is about engaging the person who is going to see that message and somehow be moved by it. It is about standing up for reality in every single situation, in the same way that if someone walked up to you and said something abjectly racist, if you were standing in a conversation with them, we would hope that you would say, hey, that's not cool, man. We need to say, hey, that's not cool, man, to all of the pieces of disinformation that are being spread by all of the unwitting actors who have no idea what machine do you think is being raged against. That What machine do you even think is being raged against? And randomly Madison is saying dishwasher. Yes, and. Now we want you to check this out. Look at this account. Wait, why isn't this account coming up? Have they blocked me? Because I see them all the time. Fascinating. Can I just click on this? No. Interesting. Fascinating. Why can't I click on this account? Well, you know what? I'll find it this way. Hold please. Hold please. I know you'll hold with me because you're fact warriors. Can I get a hey yeah from the 6 viewers who are on YouTube and Twitch? Can I find out? Oh, we lost one. Can I find out who you are and why you are here? I know who some of you are, that's for sure. But let's go through. I'm going to find you some of this mindset of truth. Wait a second. I'm going to show y'all what we're up against now. These are mine. I'm being dumb. Favorites. We got a hey yeah. We got a hey yeah. I love it. Can we get a hey yeah in Substack if your hands are free? I know I'm beautiful. Your hands might not be free. That's a little joke we make about, well, self-interference. Okay, that's gross, Deuce. Okay, now look. Hold on. Rev Deuce is going to find this account through some back door because I guess that's what Rev Deuce has to do. Bear with me, everybody. We are fact warriors. We are going to wrap up the program today. Rev Deuce is probably going to start trying to go on TikTok. Our friend Lilith had an incredible idea where Rev Deuce sets up a court, a fact court. And so I set up a situation where I am like a judge. You know what I mean? And I say, okay, bring me your piece of, because I was in TikTok and we had our old pal Alicia. You guys remember Alicia, who just comes in and says that we're all delusional. This morning in TikTok, Alicia comes in and she starts immediately, I mean, something's a little interesting about Alicia. She starts immediately saying, y'all are delusional. What about Letitia James and Obama's daughters getting millions of dollars from U.S. aid, right? So I saw that. And I said, thank you for my crowd saying, what's up, dog? Jason, I think, Jason, you're the only one in Substack, honestly. But so Alicia came into the TikTok. She immediately said, what about Obama's daughters getting money from USAID? So I go, Alicia, that sounds wild to me. I pulled up Snopes. You did, Madison? That's amazing. I pulled up Snopes and I immediately showed her that what she was saying was a meme from a parody account that then got spread by more disinformers, right? She literally kept repeating it. She literally kept repeating it in the face of information that was telling her that this is.
Okay, I don't want to be dark. I know this is going to be clipped, but.
Oh, damn it. Madison, that's incredible. What are you interacting with Alicia regularly online? All right, we gotta. Ugh. I'm so sorry, everybody. We are trying to find this video. We are trying. Oh, first of all, I want to show everybody this.
Some people don't want to talk about politics. They're like, NATO, why do you got to talk about politics? What do politics have to do with me? I'm not an immigrant or a black person or a Muslim or a Jew or a gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender or a woman or an old person or a young person or a student or a union member or artist or journalist or scientist or public employee. I don't breathe the air or drink the water. I don't live in a coastal region that'll be affected by sea level rise or an arid region that'll be affected by drought or fire. I don't like chocolate, wine, or coffee or other commodities that will no longer be available due to climate change. I'm not mentally ill, pregnant, disabled, or currently being shot at, so... What do politics have to do with me? Some people don't want to talk about politics. They're like NATO.
That is one of the best bits ever. This guy's name is like NATO. He obviously is not on the program of doing crowd work and all that kind of stuff. Hell yeah, Madison. Madison said that that attitude was her 2 years ago. We're grateful that you changed your attitude. Yeah, J.D. Vance joked about deporting people when they come for the World Cup. I mean, I am fascinated to understand what is going to happen with the Club World Cup. Like, what South American team is going to make it from the Club World Cup? And what is going to happen when the World Cup comes here? Are people not going to come? I mean, are they going to relax their fascism? I doubt it. Now, I'm so sorry, everybody. We are going to get there. I thought I saved so many more videos from this account because it is this disinformation account that really gets under my skin. I know that I will find it. Give me 1 second, everybody. There's so much gold in here. There's lots of gold, but there's also a lot of disinformation that RevDo saves here, so I'm not asking you to engage with it, but maybe I need to go through these and pull these up every day. All right, I think... No, that's not it. Stick with me, gang. Rob Panzer, how are you? What is your deal? What is your media diet? I do think that tourism has been affected, actually. I want to find this one woman with blue hair. Everyone, take it easy. Just relax. Have a good time. I know. Oh, I'm on TikTok. Holy shit. You guys, are you kidding my daddy? This whole time. I'm so sorry, everybody. Here we go. We'll just go there right away. Oh, my God. I was in such a flow state, too. Did they change their shit? They changed their logo. Interesting.
The research on this, every inch is worth about $30,000 a year. So being 5'6", if I were 6 feet tall, I would have to make $180,000 to be the same attractiveness as a man who's 6 foot, just because of my height. How much?
Wait, Bob. Oh, Bob Banzer, you're responding to what was on the screen. Hell yeah, you're telling us that your media diet is Robert Hubble? That's cool. I'm one of the co-founders of the Media and Democracy Project. This is the crazy thing that I did as an offshoot to just work on our information ecosystem, but that's super cool. Hey, Bob, welcome. Robert Hubble has recommended us on his Substack before, so we love your media diet. We love that you're a Robert Hubble fan. That's super cool. Robert Hubble is I think he's a California professor. And so we are asking everybody, thank you for the hearts, everybody, in Substack. But yeah, so we just want to show you how strong the disinformation is, right? Like, this is what's happening out there. There are accounts at all times.
You give them this message that it's okay to be a man.
It's not okay. It's necessary.
Shit.
What the hell are we going to do without men? You look around the city here, you see all these buildings go up. These men, they're doing impossible things. They're under the streets, working on the sewers. They're up on the power lines in the storms and the rain. They're keeping this impossible infrastructure functioning. This thing that works in a miraculous manner. They work them.
That's a toxic dude, Jordan Peterson.
Do you believe in hitting your kids? I believe in life there is a line in which violence appears.
So this is Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate was brought back into America by Donald Trump. Okay? And he is a misogynist. He is giving horrible... So sorry that I forgot who Robert Hubble is, Barbara. Thank you for being here, Barbara. We love you. And so these types of accounts are out there at all times, just shoveling shit. Look at how much Andrew Tate is here. This account, I know we see that the hearts are pretty low. I don't know who this is. Sometimes they like the comments that I leave. This account has 145,000, 154,000. This is not the right account. This is a new account that they made. They have their own Twitch. Okay? They must repost stuff from. That's fascinating. Okay, we are up against it, y'all. Okay, we are absolutely up against it. So what I was saying was that basically the information ecosystem that we live in creates.
You work in a school
like
that could lose federal funding, and if you lose your job because that federal funding is gone, you'd be okay with it.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would, for the greater good, for America. He's making America great again. He's doing the right thing.
You work in.
So if Joe Biden told us that we had to experience temporary pain, that we might lose our jobs, meanwhile it is obvious that Joe Biden's program, regardless of how, American imperialist it was, all of those things, regardless, it's obvious that that would be better for a larger number of American people and people in general, obviously. But this is what we are up against every single day. Our fellow Americans are stewing in a media diet that is the equivalent of milkshakes of dog shit and broken glass. And what are we doing about it? Are we fighting for the minds of our fellow Americans at all times? Unfortunately, if you do not want a hot war, you must start participating in the information war. And so that is what we are doing here. This woman? No, it's not this woman. I'm going to show you a video that is absolutely going to hurt to watch. Okay? I'm going to show you a video that is going to be painful to watch because it is going to undermine our belief that we can do anything. And while I'm looking for this video, I'm not going to subject you to this scrolling because it's probably giving people a headache. Why is it the fact that millions of people believe that Donald Trump is a man of God? It is because they are being fed disinformation. The line of separation of church and state is destroyed for them by their pastors and evangelical places at all times. The evangelical movement did not used to be a movement. They did not used to vote in the 1970s. They largely did not vote. Here she is. Here she is. And then they were commandeered by people like Paul Weyrich and Tim LaHaye, who then reached out to the fossil fuel billionaires like the Kochs, and they said, look, we will get a voting bloc that will absolutely help you to move exactly whatever legislation, whatever regulations you want to be disappeared. We have got a voting bloc for you. Give us all your money. That unholy marriage of the fossil fuel billionaires and the right-wing hyper-Christian extremists, that is what brought us to where we are today. That is why our fellow Americans are like this.
All right, I'm going to try to give a quick hot take on my thoughts on this Gaza announcement. By the way,
sorry, this is not the right video.
This is my plea. From the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my soul, this is my plea to my liberal friends, to my liberal family, to the artists, to the musicians,
Literally
to the creatives,
like
to the bleeding hearts of the world. I get you. I see you. I was you. Please understand, I know that you think you're doing what's right to save the world, but your hearts and your minds have been hijacked. They've been hijacked and they're being weaponized against yourselves, against us, against humanity, against the world. I was a staunch liberal for a long time. Vegan, Prius driving, married a woman, blue hair, chakras tattooed up my back. And then I realized that my humanity was hijacked, that they took my bleeding heart and they tried to harm this planet with my own emotions. I'm begging you to please think about this. We were the left, the liberals. We were the side of the conspiracy theories forever. Big pharma, big ag, food, everything. Like none of us trusted any institution. And somehow in less than 8 years, they got you guys believing that the Hillary Clintons and the Obamas and the Pelosi's of the world are suddenly the pillar of truth and justice.
No, they didn't. Because we don't fall in line. Everyone who's not MAGA does not fall in line in that way. It gets down to our psychology, our evolutionary biology. But holy crap, you guys. This woman is basically me. The reality is I can back it up. George Soros is a boogeyman that is a projection by the right-wing billionaires. But we have the scholarship. We have the understanding. They wrote it down. We have, it's a bald conspiracy by Big Prius. We have the Powell memo. We have the words, thoughts, and actions of Ronald Reagan in the 1960s. We have the John Birchers. We have the Manions. Does anybody even know about the Manion Hour? This is 1950s hyper-conservative stuff. We know that in the 1950s and 1960s that the conservatives used communist tactics to overwhelm meetings, to undermine public meetings that were political in nature. Like read a Rick Perlstein book. It's all well documented. That is the reality. But you can really start to really get shifted away from reality when you hook yourself up to the right-wing disinformation stream. Here you go, Madison.
Please hear me when I say we have all been a victim of the mind control industrial complex. All of us. It's called the Matrix, right?
Oh no.
Some of us are just waking up to it. Some of us have been awake for a long time.
Oh no.
Generations have been trying to tell us for a long time.
That what? That it's a conspiracy that pharmaceutical companies use the power of legalized bribery, lobbying, to push for, like, you know, the reality of that it's legal to advertise pharmaceuticals on television. Like, I mean, if you were to actually have a conversation with this woman, you could start to talk to her about reality and you could start to push back. One thing I want to do when I talk to MAGA people, I really desperately want to talk to MAGA people, is they all have this idea, or at least the ones who are online and posting, they have this idea that everybody loves Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Obama and everybody, that we are them, basically, everyone who's not MAGA. They have these ideas about everyone else. There is no nuance. Nuance has been destroyed for all of us together collectively, not just MAGA, but everyone. If you've ever called someone a maggot, you are a victim of the information war. If you have ever said that every MAGA person is racist, you are a victim of the information war. Now, I got to figure out some kind of Jeff Foxworthy aspect to this. If you have ever taken ivermectin, you are a victim of the information war.
What I'm begging for you to do is don't listen to the media. Don't listen to social media. Don't listen to Trump. Don't listen to Harris. Don't listen to any of them. Listen to your loved ones. Listen to your friends. Listen to your families. You know we're not racist. You know we're not bigots. You know we're not Nazis. You know that we would never harm a hair on another human being's head.
I would like to check in with her on what is happening with the 75% of men who were shipped to a foreign gulag without having any criminal record. They were supposed to go after the criminals, weren't they?
And we staunchly support this man because we've just woken up to what's going on. My plea to my liberal friends and family is please don't believe them. Don't believe either one. Believe me. Believe me. At least ask me why. At least say, Kaylin, how could you have gone from all that to who you are now? If you love us, your friends, your family, your loved ones, if you loved us, sit down and have a conversation with us. Let us explain to you why we turned, why we changed, why we support him. I am not right, and I am not left. I'm not conservative, and I am not liberal.
I just love Donald Trump. Whatever that means. There's no assignation that can be applied to me.
I'm not a Republican and I'm not Democrat. I am MAGA. And I am
Yikes.
mega. Make America great again. Make the earth great again.
Oh my goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. I need to talk to this woman.
Join us, please. We need you, and we can't do it without you.
Make Earth great again. So this is what's happening. This is what people are stewing in at all times. Okay? Now, Madison, hold on now.
And I will say,
Madison, we are trying to be nice to people and understand that everyone is doing the best they can with what they have. Something happened in that woman's life where she had an outsized need for control, for community, and comprehension. No, she's pretty committed. She's pretty committed, Madison. There was a time where I was watching some more videos of
the American people have, I guess you can say, those who largely vote for Trump, people who have woken up, whatever you want to call it, they're not all conservative. Some are, some used to be liberal, some are conservative, some are libertarian. I mean, the Libertarian Party largely supported Donald Trump. Yep. And then you have these people that no matter what Democrats do, they will defend them to the point where Elon Musk can uncover that the USAID was funding like...
Okay. We're just going to pause there. But so, no, she's pretty committed, Madison. Okay, everybody. Now, look, it's 11:11, time to make a wish. Actually, it's not 11:11 anymore. If you are new to the program on Substack, we would love for you to come back tomorrow and watch the program on Twitch. Madison, in the face of that rage, we all want to be fact warriors, right? It is an information war for all of our minds. Vladimir Putin, Elon Musk. Yesterday we talked at length about the disinformation that is being spread. Of course, it's so hard not to get angry about it. Absolutely, Marley. Absolutely. I want to show y'all something. This is from a tab group. Rev Deuce is always working the tabs, baby. Now look at this. We did some research yesterday. Okay, we looked into it more. All right. Iranian accounts in 2021 promoting anti-Israel hashtags in the wake of the Israel-Hamas war. Facebook just removed, this is in 2018, Facebook just removed 82 accounts, Iranian Tide pages and accounts posting divisive Trump and Kaepernick memes. We learned yesterday a case study done by a George Washington professor during the time of the Colin Kaepernick stuff found that 2/3 of all of the social media memes about Colin Kaepernick originated from Russia. That they studied thousands of them. Foreign adversaries target specific demographics in attempt to sway U.S. election. Now, we do not recommend the Wall Street Journal. It is a Rupert Murdoch's classy version of Fox News, but they do report fact-based information. Their opinion section is a cesspool of right-wing manipulation. U.S. imposes sanctions on Russian and Iranian groups over disinformation targeting American voters. We are being attacked not just by the RSBNs, the OANNs, the Tim Pools. I mean, although that is a Russian disinformation program. Tim Pool was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars by Russia. He's the person that young lady was just watching. But so if you don't give a shit about your fellow Americans' media diets, that's it. Game over. We are in an information war, and millions of Americans have been turncoated against all of us by a purpose-built system for disinforming the public, for manipulating people, for hacking the conservative brain and its higher need for control and comprehension, its higher need for closure. No shame, no shade. That is just literally a difference. We all have a need for comprehension, control, and community. It is our human biology. Some of us have larger amygdalas. We are more afraid, and so messages of fear reach us and impact us more. So if you are here on Substack, I ask you to come and join Rev Deuce in his revolution. You can go on to the Substack. You can follow. You can subscribe. You can go to these articles that I am creating in order to spread fact-based information, in order to give all of us the context we need to understand our news. We can talk about our mainstream corporate commercialized system for informing the public. We can talk about the purpose-built manipulation right-wing system. We can talk about their unholy marriage. We can talk about access journalism. We can talk about both sidesism. We can talk about false equivalency. We can talk about all of it, and we need to talk about all of it. From now until the day that fascism leaves the shores of America, from now until the day that the global authoritarians who have the resources, what do we have? We have millions and millions of us, and we can flood the zone with facts if we want to. If you spent 30 minutes a day on your social media fighting this giant dickhead on the screen right now, you could make a difference. Spread the fact-based information that we're sharing. Go to our Blue Sky, repost that stuff. Go to the reposts on our TikTok account. Those have been vetted. Share that. Follow places like More Perfect Union. Follow places like Now This Impact. Spread persuasive information. Go to our list on Blue Sky. Tell your friends and loved ones and neighbors about our list of disinformation experts. Tell your friends and loved ones and colleagues about our lists. I'll tell you what, these legal experts, though, look at how many dog photos they post. I mean, this morning it was just dog photos. This is getting better. Okay, they're talking about law stuff. Sorry, I got distracted. Share with your friends and loved ones the news. At least 30 newsrooms that are fact-based, pro-democracy newsrooms that spread fact and report fact and are pro-democracy. There's no such thing as objectivity in journalism. Everything is a choice. And so what we need to select for is fact-based journalism. What we need to select for is pro-democracy journalism. Journalism that pushes back on the program of division and hatred and reports in the public interest. ProPublica is doing the best possible work. All of these organizations are reporting in the public interest. Go and share with your friends and loved ones. Do you have someone who loves the free press? Well, guess what? You can expose them to the reality that Barry Weiss is nothing more than a grifter making money saying things that right-wing billionaires want her to say. This is reporting from Emma Green in the New Yorker. Weiss had already been talking with a few of her friends about creating a new anti-woke organizations. They literally are just business people who are creating a product that happens to be one that destroys democracy and manipulates people. But they are making money. Bari Weiss is a grifter. Her friends had workshopped a pitch to the Manhattan Institute, a conservative think tank, for a project to create a quote-unquote modern-day Death Star to wage quote-unquote ideological warfare on the enemies of modernity. And who is linked in with Bari Weiss? How do you spell her name? Oh, maybe I left out the Megyn Kelly parts. Megyn Kelly. Oh, you spell her name like that. Okay. Megyn Kelly. Christopher Rufo. The same people who are working with the think tanks. Christopher Rufo brags about his ability to manipulate society. Rev Deuce needs to make a video about Christopher Rufo. Damn it. Too much work to do. Other people are making these videos. We need to get these other pieces of information and put them together and package them so that people can see them. So I ask you to join the Discord. I ask you to be a fact warrior. The Discord, we need to get it going. I need all the help I can get. But if you agree with me, share my information with your friends and your loved ones. If you understand that our reality is shaped by strangers who tell us about what is going on in the world and that we have no idea. Literally, it seems like no one has any media literacy whatsoever. Warrior, the Discord, it is so bizarre to me that nobody has media literacy, and I know that it is bizarre to all of you. I know also that some of you used to have no media literacy. And so let's give it to the people, okay? Look at this. This is me. This is Deuce, saving the nation from disinformation with healthy, fact-based information. Okay? You don't even want to see the other images that I created. And yes, it's AI. And yes, I'm going to buy a thing to ChatGPT and I'm going to make 1 million of these. Please go like, follow, subscribe to Deuce wherever you are. Tell everyone. Spread the good news. Oh, that's funny. I should do that. Why don't I say that? Spread the good news. When I grew up, I had our Bible in my church was the Good News Bible. Spread the good news. Have you heard the news? Rev Deuce is here to shape the nation with fact-based information. For Rev Deuce so loved the world that he took to the internet in the 2020s to reshape America and the world, to tell people that they needed to worship facts. Because in a time when it is impossible to understand the forces at play in society, when it is impossible to know who to trust, who to turn to, Rev Deuce was there. You know, I was just a pastor, but now I guess I'm Jesus. Mom Row, please come and join the Discord. You should be able to go to the link tree that is right down here. The link tree that's right down here. We need to get more people in here. You all know it. And so I need you to be my apparatchiks. I need you to be my billionaire funding. And market me, promote me, tell other people about me. I'm going over today because I'm so overtaken. But here you go. When you go to the website, like if you go to the website and it's full, tomorrow we get all the furries. So on the website right here, and also on all my socials is the link tree. Mom Row, okay? And then here's the link to the Discord. It should work. Boom, you're in there. And then I gotta talk to Lilith about how we treat permissions, because people should just be able to join and be members, basically. So Peter Brown, welcome into the space. Peter Brown, are you a fact warrior? How will you be a fact warrior today? Lilith was in TikTok earlier today. We are in an information war. Every single time you are online, you need to spread fact-based information that aligns with democracy. We are going to talk to the furry community tomorrow. We are going to talk to them about apparently the origin of the furry hoax thing. Look at this incredible graphic. Apparently the origin of the furry hoax thing is that in a community near Columbine, in the 2010-ish area, when they were doing lockdowns, they did have kitty litter during their lockdown drills. They had paint buckets with kitty litter in them in case children were being mass murdered. And then that got transmuted into, there's this person, Kate Starbird, who does incredible work. She worked at the University of Washington, our improvisers. Right wing. Here we go. Did Kate Starbird write this one? Kate Starbird, there she is. I'm going to share this with everybody. My two loves, information and all of you. Hands off, welcome, hands off. Are you a fact warrior fighting every single day for the minds of your fellow Americans? I'm going to share this with everybody that have been destroyed by disinformation. My two loves, information and... Sorry about this. Sorry about that doubling. Okay, so I love you, you love me. Rev Deuce has got to go. He's going to work. He's creating a video about Charlie Kirk. It's hell. It's hell to do this work, but I love you. I'm full of joy. How will you spread joy today? Knee blockable. You've been here the whole time? Knee blockable. Welcome. Momro, we're so sorry that you got thwarted by the long message thing. My bad. Can you write it in 2 sections? I'm going to stay and wait to see what you have to say because I love you. Or you could call into the program. We need everybody. I love David and I love Madison, but I hear from them all the time. Okay, I'm going to go crush this video because I need to get it done and I need to make other videos. I want to make a video about big balls. Okay, that's cool. I need to make a video about everything, all the time, always. But we also need to make more of these. This is incredible. It's so incredible. I want your ideas too. I need your ideas. I need your ideas for other images. So if you've seen Severance, part of the inspiration comes from yesterday when I opened the program and I said, in a world, I should just use this sound. This sound is so good. Kind of descending in a minor key. In a world where facts are hard to come by, where people like Ben Shapiro are told that facts don't care about your feelings while ignoring facts and reality. Well, so this image is born of the idea that I am Keir and that we should have a series of images of how Rev Deuce saved the world and how Rev Deuce originated this religion of energy, support, commitment, giving, and connection. Momro, we're grateful for your message. Well, Momro, it also was just a random thing that happened in 2010 and it is not a real thing. The reason why they have the idea is because they made up the idea. But I'm going to look into that a little bit more and get ready for tomorrow. Please help Rev Deuce. Please tell more people about this program. Even if they are unavailable to watch the program, tell them to log on and follow, subscribe, like on YouTube, on Twitch, all of the places. I'm also considering like a streaming marathon, maybe next week, where I just stream for like 20 hours a day. But then I don't vote for Donald Trump's nominees like Cory Booker. So Madison is reaching out to Mom Rowe. What do the two of you have to say to each other? Why don't you say it to each other in our Discord? I've got to leave. Jason, is that you hitting the hearts? If it is, I'm so grateful for the hearts, Jason. For Rev Deuce so loved the world that he spread fact-based information. Oh yeah, that's right. I made the two of you moderators, David and Madison. So how's that been going? Does that mean anything? I love all of you. I'm so grateful for you. Let's grow this community. Yes, and we brought Paul Leary in today. We got a guy named Hugo on TikTok to get excited. How can you support Rev Deuce? How can you understand that you are a fact warrior and every single time online you are fighting this giant dickhead? Look at what a dickhead. So go out and be a fact warrior. I love you all so much. So grateful for you. Have a great day.